Engineers spend their days writing UI components in a syntax that feels entirely familiar. We write tags, assign classes, and nest elements, treating JSX exactly like standard HTML inside our JavaScript files. But web browsers have no idea what to do with that syntax. A rendering engine can parse HTML, CSS, and standard JavaScript, but if you feed it raw JSX, the process immediately crashes. To see how that declarative code actually becomes a user interface, we have to strip away the framework entirely. We need to look at what happens before the browser even sees the code. React is a deterministic bridge to the browser's document object model API. Understanding that bridge means you stop relying on syntax magic and start controlling exactly how your application allocates memory and paints pixels. Transpilers intercept that HTML-like syntax and collapse it into a nested react.createElement function call. Executing this outputs a standard JavaScript object mapping the screen. The type key dictates the base HTML tag. Props stores attributes. Finally, children holds the payload. The declarative, tag-based layout has been completely stripped away. We are left with a strict taxonomy of key-value pairs. This plain JavaScript object is the true point of origin for the render sequence. Every calculation, optimization, and update React performs is executed against this data structure, not the JSX. To engineer our own version of this rendering sequence, our algorithm needs exactly two inputs: that parsed data object we just examined, and a target container on the web page where the final element will live. This flowchart illustrates the render pipeline. The algorithm takes the parsed object, reads the type string, and asks the browser to allocate memory for a new element. It passes the type directly into the document.createElement API, creating a hollow wireframe container. The algorithm now needs to populate that hollow container with actual content, so the user has something to read. It targets the children property from the parsed object and injects that string directly into the new node's inner HTML attribute. At this stage, we have an element with text, but it is inert. Without the algorithmic injection of URLs, target behaviors, or classes, a constructed DOM node cannot interact with the rest of the application. Manually assigning these attributes piece by piece requires writing distinct lines of code for an href, a target, or a custom data tag. If an element requires 10 different attributes, or only one, a hard-coded approach fails to scale and breaks modularity. A for-in loop over the props object processes attributes sequentially. It isolates the first key-value pair, passing it into the setAttribute method to attach data to the DOM node. The loop then steps through remaining properties, injecting each until the list is exhausted. The loop finishes, leaving a fully decorated and functional DOM element held in memory, ready for display. The algorithm takes this final element and targets the root container on the web page, executing the append child API to push it into the live document. This specific loop-based injection architecture is how React processes millions of nodes. Translating raw data objects into interactive browser elements through standard iteration is the mechanical heartbeat of the entire ecosystem. Once the layout is built, engineers need to pass real data into these components. We inject dynamic JavaScript variables directly into the UI by wrapping them in curly braces, but attempting to place an if-else control flow statement directly inside those braces causes an immediate compilation error. The transpiler takes everything inside those curly braces and maps it directly to a function argument or an object value. The if-else block creates a structural mismatch. ECMAScript constraints dictate that operational statements cannot be assignable values in an object definition. A key-value pair requires data, not instructions. The system needs an evaluated expression. Logic must run externally, resolving to a singular data type, like a string or Boolean, before successful injection. The perceived limitations of JSX syntax are actually just strict adherence to the fundamental mechanics of standard JavaScript objects. You cannot assign an if statement to an object key, so you cannot write it inside JSX. To verify that our custom rendering algorithm actually matches reality, we can audit the actual open-source React repository on GitHub. Navigating deep into the library's internal files, we locate the precise origin of the createElement function signature used in production. We cross-reference the parameter signatures written by the core team against the schema we built from scratch. The source code reveals that the exact keys we identified, type, config for properties, and children, are permanently hard-coded into the production architecture. The production library applies advanced optimization algorithms and differential checks, but the foundational data structures driving it remain identical to our first principles model. This flowchart traces the pipeline, from JSX authoring, through the transpiler, into the virtual object tree, the render loop, and finally the browser. This tree is the critical junction point. Operating on this lightweight data model instead of slow browser APIs makes declarative UI possible. There is no unexplainable framework logic taking place. The system relies on array iterations, object key parsing, and native browser memory allocation. Internalizing this deterministic pipeline removes the guesswork from development. When you understand exactly how your declarative code translates into memory operations, you gain precise architectural control over highly complex software applications.